Hello, people of YouTube. We are talking about My Hero Academia again today. And what an interesting episode we have. A lot of things going on. We start off with this plane flying recklessly towards the battle. And yeah, this is definitely Best Genius. They don't actually show his face in the beginning of this. But, I mean, there's a big old BJ. Haha, BJ. Right on the old belt buckle. We then kind of go into the outro a little bit here. Everyone's pretty much knocked down to the ground. Um, All for One is doing his best to control Tomaru's body, and he's very much so fighting against it. He doesn't want to do it his way. He wants to do it his own way, not All for One's way. He's still trying to fight, even though his body is in essentially disrepair. He's not dead, but he's very much so hurt. Everybody in this situation is very much so hurt. A couple of people show up, help out a little bit, and then we kind of pan into Toga and Urako, basically indicating, she's like, I killed somebody. Urako's like, no, I would never do that. What the heck is wrong with you? And then it kind of all comes down to, if you want to live the life the way you want to, then you also need to deal with the consequences of your actions. At that point, she then, basically realized that Orako was not going to help her, or that was her answer. She was kind of done with her, and she tried to kill her. Is what it ultimately came down to. So, Asui shows up, helps out, um, and basically Toga just kind of gets away. And I think at this point, she's pretty much done with both of them. She doesn't really care about Asui's answer. She got her answer from Urako, and now she probably just wants an answer from Deku, and that'll probably be it for her, and kind of justify where she's going to go in the future, what's going to kind of happen with her. Um, at least that's what I'm thinking is probably going to end up ultimately happening. Uh, she ends up going back. I think she gets back on Gigamachia. Not 100%. But yeah, Gigamachia ends up showing up to the fight, basically saying, I'm here, Master. What is your next order? Um, And Bakugo's like, I need to complete victory against these people. To Ida, he's basically saying, leave me alone. And they need to retreat at this point. I'll be honest with you. Shomaru, not Shomaru, Tomoro is in pretty rough shape. Um, he needs to go heal up. He needs to go see the doctor. He needs to get 100% completed. And then, fight another day to a certain extent. I know that everybody's trying to stop him, trying to arrest him. But with Giga there now, I just don't see that happening. And then we kind of go into Dabi's origin story, which was really, really cool. We find out that he is actually the lost son, Toya Todoroki, of Endeavor. He is the eldest son. He didn't actually burn up in that fight. He's alive. He then proceeds to launch this video to the entire world, basically saying, this is me, this is what Endeavor did to our family. Endeavor doesn't care about other people, he only cared about becoming number one. And then Toya was happy that he became number one because now he wants to kill the number one hero himself. He was like, originally he was going to kill Shoto, his perfect little brother. But then he decided that I think he's more angry at Endeavor than he is his brother. He's not angry at his brother. He wants to hurt Endeavor. Ultimately, is what it comes down to. He wants to hurt Endeavor like Endeavor hurt him and their family. So he wants to basically kill him at this point. So initially he was going to kill Shoto, being that that was his pride and joy. That was his favorite child. He got the dual quirk, the ultimate dual quirk. But now that Endeavor's number one, he is more concerned with going after him. This puts an extreme emotional strain on Endeavor. He doesn't really know what to do. what's going on here. We get to see Endeavor's parts of this too, where basically saying Toya had was better than he was. He had better firepower, but he didn't have heat resistance. So basically, he was essentially he got the best part of his father and the worst part of his mother. So the best part of his father being the firepower, the worst part of his mother being weak to heat. And it's not a good combination. That's why he got all the scars. But somehow he was able, his body was able to withstand. I mean, look at his crazy face there. That's probably going to be the thumbnail for the video right there. But his body was somehow able to stand up to the heat, and his crazy blue flames. Basically, I think he wants to kill himself and Endeavor and anybody that's in the way in one big blast. They said they barely managed to find some of his jawbone. And then Shoto is basically saying, hey, you need to basically forget about that right now. You need to hold off on all of that because we're in a situation where no matter what your feelings are towards him, you have to save the people that are around you. Yes, this is like a shocking revelation moment, but at the same time, get going. He has a punctured lung. He's beat up. He needs to get Bakugo and Deku, everybody out of that situation. Shoto's like, we'll hold them off for a minute. And it's just a mess. It's kind of interesting, though, because Mr. Compress, he says, oh, you have an interesting lineage, too, meaning that Mr. Compress here has some sort of interesting backstory that I'm sure we'll learn about in the future. I do like these episodes. I mean, I know it's kind of going off of the main story for a certain extent and kind of doing like a side quest type deal, but it's very interesting to see the origin of the original League of Villains here. I mean, we got some Toga origin, we got some Twice origin. Now we got Dabi origin. We got some Tomaru origin last season. I almost wish they would make just a season out of this, essentially, or like a separate side series or something, where it's basically just like the background of how everybody ended up in the League of Villains. I think that would be pretty cool. And, all the siblings are in shock that he's still alive. If you remember this kid, this was the kid that was like, Endeavor's my favorite hero. And he was like, we won't be like shocked by this. But then the other kid by him, he's like, everybody's going to be shocked by this. Like, no matter what your feelings are for Endeavor, there's some messed up things going on here, and we don't really know what's going on. He also indicated that Hawks killed Best Jeanist, that Hawks' father. He didn't actually mention Hawks' real name for whatever reason. I figured he would do that too, kind of expose Hawks, kind of reiterate his point. Apparently, his father was a criminal and a murderer that Endeavor actually ended up putting away. And he said that Hawks killed Best Jeanist, which actually is not true. He said he witnessed Hawks kill Best Jeanist. My guess is that Hawks had to make it look good. And the reason he had to make it look good is because, he had to prove his point to Dabi that, he wasn't actually a real hero. He was on their side. So my guess is he probably struck Best Jeanist in a way where, he probably still hurt him and injured him, but he didn't hit any vital organs. He didn't hit a major vein or artery, so he didn't bleed out, but it looked good. At least that's my guess. But, he comes up from the sky at the end, and basically you see Endeavor here like in awe. Like, he doesn't know what to do. He thought he killed the son. This entire time, he thought his son was dead. And he was like, in the back of my mind, I thought you were still alive, but he just didn't want to believe it. He finally, at some point in his life, he probably just accepted the fact that his son was dead. But Best Jeanist, he said he's on his job again, and that's kind of where we end it. So not sure where next episode is going. Let's take a look at the preview here as well. Oh yeah, right here. So Best Jeanist has everybody wrapped up. Looks like no moves are coming. Looks like a bunch of heroes are coming. Hato looks a little beat up here as well. I mean, she got friggin' hit with some stuff. So I don't know what's going to happen here. I don't know if heroes are going to win. I don't see what that stuff that Best Jeanist is wrapping Gigamaki in is going to hold him. You know, if he goes back to that monster size again, I don't foresee that actually holding him. But who knows? I guess we'll find out next episode. This one's a solid 9 out of 10. A little bit too short for me. That's my that's my only complaint. In all honesty, I wish we got a little bit more Toga, and I wish we got a little bit more Dabi. Obviously, we're probably going to get a little bit more of that next episode, but I would have liked to see more of both of them in this episode, which is why I'm giving it the 9 out of 10 and not a beautiful 10 out of 10. But I mean, every episode of this, just week after week, it just slaps harder and harder. And throwing this like 180 into it as well, because I did not, I had a suspicion that Dabi was somehow, you know, related to them, or maybe he was Toya. I don't really know. I wasn't 100% confident. I wasn't a manga reader, so I didn't know this in advance. And I don't believe I got spoiled. I don't think I got spoiled for that. I know some people probably did, you know, if you read the manga or you heard something online, somebody discussing it. But excellent episode overall. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell, leave a like, and comment down below what you want to see for future anime and cartoon related content. Thank you for watching. My name is Steve Gray, and as always, have a good one.